I definitely, it's so interesting that you are honoring today Helen Mirren, who is a woman definitely not in her 20s or her 30s or her 40s. And I think that this is a wonderful change. I think in Europe, you know, I look at these wonderful actresses like Jean Moreau, for instance, who has had a career throughout her life. And I see something like a film, Sex and the City, where one of the main characters turns 50, which in America is really evolutionary. And I think for me as an actor, I want to start to produce, because then I can, if not the material is out there, then I can be part of creating something that will give me work that is not just more than the leading man's ex-wife or some crazy aunt that appears for 2 scenes and then on the cutting room floor. So I think things are changing. I think it's gradual. I want to be part of that change. I'm so glad that I have been thus far, and I hope it continues.
Please stop.
I didn't get the last of the question. How has it changed over time? Well, there's a thing called gravity, but I'm fighting it with every inch of my being. It's quite interesting. The trajectory today it seems to be about theater, which is not really about what you look like. And very early on in my career, I was signed by a woman called Minnie James. She was a big talent agent, and another woman called Eleanor Kilgallen. And they started the studio system at MCA Universal, and we're signing contract players. And I literally went from a theater rat to, you know, a young sort of starlet in the course of over about 2 years. I was told to grow my hair, to lose 10 pounds, to start to wear makeup, no more jeans, no more cutoffs, because I never really thought, you know, I would go into these auditions and I would slam it, and they would say, you got the part, but you're just not pretty enough, or you're not thin enough, or you're not this enough, or that enough. And I think that's still happening today, not just it's happening, you know, in theater and film now, the pressure to look and be a certain way. And I think this is really unfortunate. That puts a lot of undue pressure. And I think in a lot of ways it alienates women from their natural bodies, because you're trying to fit into a very narrow mold of what beautiful is, of what feminine is, of what sexy is. And I think one of the great things about my history is my family, who are not thin, who do not diet, who exercise when they feel like it. So I realized that I had to fit into a form, but eventually I was going to make it my own. I was not going to become anorexic. I was going to eat a healthy meal so I could do my job, not just for my body, but for my brain. And I came to the realization that ultimately it's how I feel about myself, not what other people feel. But that doesn't mean that I don't exercise. I also grew up in a time where exercising is a part of life. To run, to do yoga, to do Pilates, whatever the new rage is, to be fit is part of the mainstream. So I think that as well as that, and really how I feel about myself has really made me feel more healthy and more able to do my job and live my life as a woman in a healthier, happier place.
Scusate, fate passare, grazie.